All right, what's up, guys? What is up? Happy Monday to everybody. Hope you guys had a successful and profitable Sunday football. We're up like 1 unit on week 2. One of those weeks where like some plays you would have liked to have released that you didn't. Some plays didn't really go your way. Had one guy go 2 yards short of his receiving yards number, but the teaser was real nice yesterday. Broncos and Packers. Teaser worked out really nice for us. Had a couple guys fly over their numbers, but the highlight of week 3 for us still, or excuse me, week 2 so far, definitely the 5% on Thursday. And so we're going to try and close out this week with a 5% winner tonight in NFL action. We've got the Eagles, we've got the Falcons going head to head. And I'll tell you what, guys, has anyone seen anybody on the Falcons tonight? I've seen a few people, but it seems to me like right now they are looking for some people to bet on this Falcons team. Everybody loves the Eagles right now. But guys, yeah, you see below, you can get my 5% play tonight over at wagertalk.com, wt.buzz/AM. But the promo code in the top right corner of your screen, you can see right now, AM39. That's the promo code to get 3 days of all my plays for $39. But we are here on props.cash to go over some plays here, take a look at some numbers, and to hopefully cash some tickets here, guys. Take us into some winning directions. And there were a couple that I wanted to look at. We're going to start with, we'll look at the passing here, guys. Look at the passing. We're going to go to Jalen Hurts. I know this is kind of a small screen setup I have going. We're working on it. Bear with me. We are working on it. All right. Let's look at the completions. This was one that I wanted to take a look at here. I mean, look at this, guys. The numbers kind of speak for themselves. He runs the ball. They've got Barkley to run the ball. You got Gainwell to potentially get a few touches. The number is 20.5 for Jalen Hurts here. I'm going to go under 20.5 pass completions straight out of the props.cash website, feeding us this information. He has gone under this number of 20.5 completions in 7 of his last 10 games played. Obviously, some of them being close with 18, 17. Last week, he got under by the hook against Green Bay, but taking a look at some of these numbers here for the Atlanta defense. Decent pass defense, of course, as we know. The pass attempts one's kind of interesting as well. 35, 34 here, 16, 23, 38, 31, 27. It's one of those ones here, guys, where you're going to wonder how much are they going to run the ball? How long are some of their possessions going to take? Of course, no A.J. Brown. That takes away from the passing game as well. Will they be a team that runs the ball quite a bit tonight? We'll find out. We'll find out. But that's one that I wanted to look at, guys, for this one so far. We've got Jalen Hurts under on his completions. What else are we going to look at here? Let's find it here. Receptions. Here we go. So here's one that's kind of interesting, guys. And this is a really cool tool you guys can use at props.cash. So we got Devontae Smith here. And as you guys can see, over 4.5 receptions. He is absolutely flying over this number, 4.5, 7 of his last 10 games. The number is minus 140, so that might kind of creep some people off it. Nobody wants to lay that chalk, or at least you probably shouldn't usually. But something tells me that this is more of an intriguing bet than taking his yards. So receptions being at 4.5 minus 140. The number we're seeing here for the receiving yards, 60.5. Obviously, 84 last week, and that was with A.J. Brown being in the lineup. So, it's kind of tempting here, but to me, the receptions is the way to go. And one thing cool about this, guys, you can go over here to the players, scroll down, and you can click without, and you can try and find out how a certain player did without certain guys being in the lineup. And I'll tell you, off the top of my head, I can tell you right now, or we can figure it out right here. You click that without. So the last time that A.J. Brown was out, Devontae Smith had 12 targets, 8 receptions, and 148 yards in the receiving game. The only issue is these are the results for all the other games that he was in the lineup without A.J. Brown. 4, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 2, 4, and 4. So you kind of ask yourself, was it a good thing? Was it a one-off that he absolutely went crazy without A.J. Brown in the lineup? Or is this the move? To take a look at the receptions. And to me, guys, that is without a doubt the way to go here. I think would be the receptions prop on Devontae Smith over the 4.5 because he's going to get targeted. He had 12 targets the last time there was no A.J. Brown. He went over this number last week when A.J. Brown was out there. And of course, the Packers defense, both running defense and passing defense, didn't look great in week 1. This Falcons team could have give up some yards, but I think the receptions prop is probably the way to go. Anybody you guys want me to look at, just let me know. But I appreciate anybody here right now, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you are watching on Twitter or X, whatever we are calling it these days. Scrolling down, who's somebody else that I was interested in looking at today? Darnell Mooney was someone I was interested in looking at for today. 3.5 receptions. Look, guys, this is one of those things where the Falcons offense looked horrible last week. They played against the Steelers. So the question really you have to ask yourself is, how much credit do we give the Steelers, or how much do we look at the Falcons and say, man, their passing was not good. It wasn't effective. They're going to have to run the ball. And of course, people are looking at Bijan Robinson. They're trying to decide how effective he'll be in the run game, if he'll be involved in the receiving game. You, of course, have Tyler Algier to look at. But I think Mooney at 3.5 receptions is interesting. Not a lot of historical data to look at that would back him as far as going over on his number. But I think as far as where he stands in the depth chart, the opportunities that he's going to get, I think, is interesting. Also, when he catches the ball, he usually is good to catch kind of a deeper one, as you can see for his longest reception here. So that one might be kind of an interesting one. I did bring up the name Tyler Algier, and I thought he actually might be an interesting one to look at. But here's the number. Here's the prop I wanted to look at for Algier. I want to look at his rushing attempts. Look at this, guys. 12.5 is the number, and look at all of these, all this red, right? And it goes to show a lot of people, they bet player props strictly. I'm talking strictly off trends, off how someone has done in the past. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, for sure. I'm looking at that sometimes myself. But I think it's important that people aren't only looking at that. You're not only looking at how someone has previously done. You want to look at kind of the situation in its own. And I think that Tyler Algier is going to get a handful of attempts, going to get a handful of touches. I think that Bijan is a part of both the running and the receiving game. I think it's really important for this Falcons team to establish both the run and the pass. And I think the situation right now in Atlanta is that we don't just have one running back that's going to dominate. And here's one thing we all have to take into account when it comes to this Falcons team is they do not have to worry about a quarterback running the ball. They do not have to worry about Kirk Cousins stealing touches versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, Saquon is Saquon, and he is unbelievable, but there's going to be a handful of rushing attempts from Jalen Hurts. I think his number is close to 7.5. So that's definitely something you have to worry about, and you have to think about if you're looking at Eagles player props. You're looking at Saquon rushing attempts or looking at some props with Gainwell or looking at some guys. But that's not really the case with the Falcons. They don't have to worry about Kirk Cousins using his feet So that kind of opens things up for Algier. It opens things up for Bijan to get those attempts and to get those touches. And honestly, if you take a look at 12.5 is the number there for Algier. Bijan Robinson, his number is 13.5. That should tell us all we need to know. That I think the bookmakers as well think that he's going to be equally as part of the running back room, and also because Bijan is involved a lot more in the pass catching game, and Algier is strictly more of a back that's going to run the ball a lot more. So, what have we gone through so far? We've got the completions under we mentioned. We got Tyler Algier with his attempts. I think he'll be a part of it. And I was working with Andy Lang earlier. I encourage you guys to check out props and parlays today. Props and parlays today on Wager Talk. I looked at some tight ends. So we'll go to the receivers here. So Goddard got a little bit banged up, but I'll tell you who I think is going to have a good one. And I think it's Pitts. Like I said, guys, nobody seems to like the Falcons. Nobody wants anything to do with them. No one's interested in them. I'm interested in this Falcons team tonight because people aren't giving enough credit to the Pittsburgh Steelers and what they were able to do defensively last week. So, yeah, no one's going to give credit to to this Falcons team. And, of course, you had Kirk Cousins coming off an injury and working with a new team. Number 39.5 yards for Kyle Pitts here. I honestly think you could take both tight ends to get a touchdown, and you'll cash one of them between Goddard and Pitts here. But this Philadelphia defense, guys, the passing defense, third last in the league after week 1, third last in the league in the entire season in 2023. So I think that he'll be a part of it. 39.5 here. We see him. He has gone under this in 3 straight. But where are the targets? The targets are what I want to look at the most. 3, 3, 5, 4, 4, 6, 8. He's certainly getting the opportunities. Not a guy that drops a ton of balls either. 38.5 or 39.5 at most books, depending on where you're shopping around here. And you take a look at the Packers with what they were able to do, through the air. Jordan Love, when he was in there, of course, he played most of the game against them. He was able to put up a ton of yards, and we had multiple receivers put up some numbers between Wicks, between Jaden Reed, between Watson, between Romeo Dobbs. I mean, there was a lot of guys that were able to make plays. And so Kyle Pitts could certainly be a guy that's worth looking at. Who else are we going to look at here? Who else is kind of a sleeper? Let's look at to see what the trends are for longest reception. Is there anything we can find out here for that one? Here we go. Longest reception. Saquon Barkley, longest reception. So we got 9.5 being the number here. He's hit this in his last 2 games. 18 was his number against Green Bay. And guys, honestly, for Saquon, I think it seems like everybody is all over the Saquon rushing prop just after he completely tore up the shitty Packers rush defense. But 9.5 is the number here. This is a guy that's not just your regular running back, when he's in the receiving game. He is unbelievable. He's explosive. He's going to do a lot of yards after catch, but you're going to tell me that he might not get a 10-yard catch tonight? I think he'll be a big part of the receiving game. I think Jalen Hurts will find him kind of in a moment where he's panicking. He needs to find somebody, and Barkley will be open 10 yards away. Let's look at the targets here for Barkley over here. Obviously new to the team, but 2, 2, 6, 6, 2, 4, 3, 5. Receptions. Obviously, it's different because we got a new team going on here. But I'm telling you what, guys, Barkley's going to be a guy that's interesting to look at. I think Atlanta's going to bring a ton of pressure to Hurts, and Barkley's someone that could be interesting to look at. Let's look at anybody else in the longest reception number. Bijan, according to the projections here, 13.5 is the line. projection is 23.45 for him to go over here. If you don't just like unders or overs, Dotson under 15.5. He's going to be kind of one of those guys, I think, that's if he's going to go over his receiving yard number, he'll probably need a bunch of catches. I don't think he'll just go over there in one. Last but not least, let's look at some of the special team stuff. See if you can see anything pop up for field goals, kicking points, tackles and assists. Nothing popping up. Oh yeah, here's one I actually liked here, guys. Was the Kirk Cousins passing touchdowns over. Look at this number. This is unbelievable. You're getting plus 148 on this. And I think a big part of it, guys, is because you got Tyler Algier, you've got Bijan Robinson. But again, this is a quarterback that will not punch in a touchdown on his own. So unless they're on the goal line, they're going to be passing the ball into the end zone. And I think that it's definitely a threat to have a guy like Robinson and to have guys like Algier. But to give me plus 148 on a number, this quarterback has hit in 8 of his last 10 games he's suited up in. And you've got a secondary and a defense, Philadelphia, through the air, that's number third last this season so far and third last year. That's something that I can't ignore. So Kirk Cousins over 1.5 passing touchdowns is something that I'm certainly looking at. I think I have to jump in on. That might be a play for me. But the main play, the one and only play so far the clients have received is the 5% play, guys. So don't miss out on that 5% play. It's my favorite one. Monday Night Football, Eagles, Falcons, super excited about it. You guys can get that over at Wager Talk for $35 or for $4 more. You can get 3 days of all my plays. Go to the 3-day all access section, type in AM39 and take advantage of that. Get 3 days for $39. But yeah, thanks for everybody being here on the live stream. Love the live streams here, especially on Twitter. To kind of just go through some plays to look at things here. But man, that Kirk Cousins one, I mean, I can't ignore that one. That is one that, yeah, the last time he played again, let's go to the head-to-head here. The last time he played Philadelphia, he put up four passing touchdowns. The only thing is, here, guys, we have to look at this as well, actually. This is kind of funny and a really useful tool to look at on props.cash. Look at this here, guys. You can click prime time. So prime time, still, for him, 80%. 4 in his last 5 games, prime time, he has gone over this number. But the Mondays are hilarious. I mean, Monday for him, everybody says Kirk Cousins on Mondays doesn't perform at the same level. Well, he's still 67% last 10 games here. And, well, I guess it's only been 3 games, but he's not that bad as far as his passing yard number. Everyone loves to talk about this guy in prime time and how he performs, but I think he'll get the job done. I think that, you know, the Algier attempts one is one I like, and I think it's kind of like a contrarian pick. Everybody loves Bijan on the ground, but I think Algier is going to certainly be a part of the offense quite a bit in the passing perspective. But yeah, guys, I mean, you got to look at this number here. Let's get out of this here. Monday, we're going to go last 10 every single game. He's going over. This to me is the game that everybody kind of lost hope. I don't want to say lost hope, but you look at really at what happened last week, and people are going to look at Kirk Cousins and say he's not the same guy. He can't get the job done. The Steelers shut him down. And everybody talks about overreaction week being for sides and being for totals. It's not just for sides and totals, guys. It's for prop bets too. And I think that for a guy like Kirk Cousins, he's someone that's going to be able to bounce back and, you know, throw the ball a ton and put his name out there and show people, hey, you know, I'm still that guy and I can throw the ball really well. Hey, huge shout out to Russell. Russell, thanks for being here, man. Can't wait for puck time also. I can't wait for hockey content. I can't wait for puck time. This week, I'm going to start going live and just talking about teams. I just need to start talking about hockey more, Russell. So is Cousins hurting, though? He is. He is. But that's why I think that, you know, they're going to have to establish the run. So I like the Algier attempts, but I certainly think he's going to be able to throw the ball. That's why I think Kyle Pitts might be good, Russell, because something tells me they're not going to have the time and not going to have the ability to throw these huge downfield plays. It seems to me like they're not going to be able to kind of throw these extremely long passes. It's going to have to be kind of more, not just dump offs, but the tight end position, the running backs, you know, these shorter passes might be kind of the way to go to help him out with that. Of course, with that, with him being a little bit banged up and the injuries that he does have. So Kirk Cousins to get it done here, guys. Super excited. I'm looking forward to the game tonight, guys. And again, top right corner, promo code AM39, $39 for 3-day all access pass. I think that's the way to go. That's definitely the bet that you want to follow along on. I mean, you're going to pay $35 for 1 5% player. You're going to use AM39 to get all of my plays I release over the next 3 days. That's the move. See on the bottom of your screen, though, guys, McGinnis Picks on TikTok, McGinnis Picks on YouTube, McGinnis Picks on Instagram, and wt.buzz/AM over there at Wager Talk. Russell, I'm going to correlate this with the over. Yeah, over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Those things correlate. I think, honestly, I was going to just stick with my 5% play tonight. But there's a couple of these that we got to smack. We got to hit. And I think that we're going to be able to hit this. So the free play was over at my page, -140. It's a crappy price. I'll be honest. Devontae Smith over the 4.5 receptions, 12 targets, 8 receptions, 148 yards. The last time AJ Brown was out. It's something we got to look at here, guys. Kyle Pitts over on his receiving yards or receptions, whatever you guys choose. Jalen Hurts under on completions. I think whether Saquon's working and receiving or rushing, he's going to be a big part of the game. I also think he's going to run the ball himself. And that's kind of just a trends pick we saw there from courtesy of props.cash. And you guys can use my promo code Andrew at props.cash to take 25% off your first month over there with them. But that's going to do it, guys. I think I'll probably go live again before the game starts. But if you're here with me on X right now, just do me one solid. Hit the retweet on this video. Hit the retweet, and we'll cash this ticket. Russell, any CFL packages coming up? Yeah, we're going to have a CFL rest of the season, Russell. Might do, man, we had some good plays over the weekend. A lot of them were just content plays, though. Didn't end up making them best bets, which was kind of a good thing and bad thing, I guess, right? But Russell, do you have any interest in an NFL and CFL combo pack? Let me know if you have any interest in that, because that's kind of what the head office was talking with me about. Because that way people can get all my player props and they get all my sides and totals, but also the rest of the CFL. So let me know, Russell. You can comment on YouTube or you can DM me on Twitter. But the combo pack with CFL and NFL might be the move for me. So that's going to be it. We also have an early bird special that they just put out today for the NHL. It'll be all my preseason, all my futures, regular season plus playoffs. I believe the number is 549. So that number is not going to get any better than that, guys. 549 for all of my plays. We might have some kind of early bird special going on at some point, but join me, guys. Let's make some money. Let's hit this 5%er. And as Russell mentioned, you guys can ask for any packages or anything that we're doing, but the long term is the best bet. Hockey's my sport coming up soon, but let's make some money tonight in the NFL. Let's go, guys. Monday night, let's cash a big 5% ticket. I can't wait. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.